Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today I got about 15 or so mods that I know you guys are probably most likely going to love. Well, technically it's about 13, but I mentioned 2 special mods, and let me know if you guys end up catching them, and if you would also use them. So without further ado, make sure you leave a like down on the video if you end up enjoying, and let's dive right in. Up first, we got a mod replacing the vanilla trolls called Trolls SE by 4th Unknown. And of course, we have to make them big again using the mod Tyrannical Trolls. So if you see small scrawny trolls, you forgot to grab this mod, and that's how I kind of make them look like they're on steroids. This mod is 100% cosmetic, but trolls definitely needed some love, and this overhaul is perfect for them. But one thing I do want to mention though is that this is only for vanilla trolls, not Vanguard trolls, the armor ones to be specific. They're still left pretty much looking vanilla and boring, but as long as you have Tyrannical Trolls, they will at least look threatening. This troll does come with high res and low res versions, but since trolls are kind of rare, you won't really suffer any FPS loss, so I definitely recommend the high res version this time. But the next mod up is called NPCs Learn to Aim. This mod makes it so that NPCs based on faction and level, namely archery level, will miss you a lot more now, if it's low level. And if you choose to install the optional during installation, it will also affect you. And on top of that, I just wanted to say the effect is massive and you will notice immediately because your accuracy will be horrible at the start of 15, especially if you play Nord. Up close, you won't really notice too much of an accuracy issue, but as you get further away, you will learn to never be able to hit anything. So I think this is perfect to prevent stealth archer playthroughs at the beginning of a playthrough when you notice your game is too hard. This is basically a mod that makes things harder, but also easier at the same time. This next mod called Royal Vanguard Armor makes something else besides your game harder. And by that, I just mean it hardens your armor. This mod's a very modular armor, about 10 to 15 pieces, I didn't exactly count to be honest. So this armor can be very not safe for work, or very safe for work. That all depends on you or what you equipped. And if I'm being honest, I really just equipped everything because it was just there and I decided to equip it and everything pretty much works together besides the fact that it has 2 different helmet pieces. And of course it's not a full armor without also including a shield and weapons, and they look just as amazing as the real armor. This mod comes with 1 shield and about 3 different weapons, all varying in size, and I don't think size really matters here for once. And if you do want to craft it, just go to the Blue Palace and find the crafting book, which is in her bedroom. But then again, I just used the add item menu and gave myself everything, and I pretty much regret nothing because this set does look amazing. This next mod might just be my favorite of this list. This mod is called Grab and Throw, allowing you to pick up items with your activate button, which should by default be E and then holding it, and then you can press R to fling the item at people. At base, as you can see, is pretty weak and doesn't really go far, but in the settings file, you can pretty much ramp everything up to 5,000 like me, and then the real fun starts. I pretty much went from throwing tomatoes at Nazim to him dying with just 1 to me going on an adventure with whatever I could currently find and throwing them at giants. Imagine telling your friends you one-shot a giant with a vegetable. They'll probably never believe you, but just know you did it. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what happens if you turn this up too far, but 5,000 seemed perfect to me, so here we are. The next mod up is the new creature mod called Frogs by Mihail, and these frogs can be found just about anywhere. Well, when I say anywhere, I mean anywhere with a lot of water, and if you're lucky enough to find one because they won't always be there. But unfortunately, they do have a habit of running away. Adam! But either way, this mod at base comes with 4K textures, and they also come with their own custom sounds to fit the atmosphere. And if you want to cook and eat them, that is also possible. I've never had frog legs in real life though, so doing it in the game feels a little bit weird. But other than that, it's a pretty simple mod for those people who love extra, non-demonic emphasis on that animals in their game, kinda like me. The next mod up is called Pelts So Plenty, a pretty simple mod that lets you craft custom pelts based on animals in the game. And what's great about this is that they all have physics, which is pretty much the main reason I showcase this. Well, except for one, but the rest of them have physics, but the one that doesn't, it makes sense that it really doesn't. And my pelts look like this because I have fluffy animals, a mod that does that. Yours may be a little more flat at base if you just have this, but hey, some people don't like the fuzzy look of those mods anyway, so this should be perfect. And like the mod author said, this is kind of a mod that should have been a thing years ago. The next mod is probably even more simple than Pelts So Plenty, bringing us to Whiterun for a small mod called Whiterun Exterior Small Add-on. It's definitely a small add-on just like the title says, just overhauling the bridge, headed up to the main gate of Whiterun. And also, best part, it is FPS friendly. I'm definitely going to be keeping this mod, by the way. We honestly need more mods like these. The version I'm using is the normal version, which has a Lux Orbis patch, but if you want to mix things up like the mod author actually intended, you can use the Dark Elf Lantern version, which just replaces the lanterns. One quick disclaimer about this mod though is if you don't use the Lux Orbis patch, your lanterns will default to the normal lanterns that you see around Skyrim, not the ones actually on poles, which I also have overhauled and look pretty great, so it works either way for me. And since we're already at Whiterun, might as well showcase the next mod, which actually takes us inside the city of Whiterun to the Temple of Kynareth for an overhaul called GGs Temple of Kynareth. I normally don't include names and titles, but it wouldn't really be a title without their name in it, but moving on. This mod overhauls the interior of the temple, not in a way that completely rearranges everything, so I figured they probably didn't need it before and after, but probably should have did it either way. But this just adds more clutter and immersive objects to the temple, but either way, my draw codes are perfectly fine even with all the extra clutter. So this mod is a 10 out of 10 already just based on that. Because no matter how great a mod like this could be, if it destroyed my FPS I would not be showcasing it. And to top it all off, this mod is literally less than 1 megabyte. You literally cannot go wrong with this mod, so I definitely recommend to try it. Unless you're using JK's version, then you should probably keep that. Another quick scenery mod is called Riverwood Addon, made by the same mod author who made the Whiterun Addon, but this mod just adds a small shrine for Mara outside of Riverwood. It's definitely nothing too fancy, to be honest. If you look at it, if someone could make a blossom tree mod for mods like these that love to add them, I'd be in love. Otherwise, this definitely would be staying in my list without those trees. But for the main part, still a pretty solid mod, especially when you combine it with their next mod, Riverwood Smelter add-on, also by the same mod author. They must have gotten confident in themselves lately and decided to mass release a bunch of mods, and I really appreciate it, because this one adds a smelter right next to the blacksmith area in Riverwood. But it doesn't just add a boring smelter next to the blacksmith, they also added a bunch of clutter and building around it just to make it blend in. And I love the idea of it because I don't get why some cities in Skyrim don't have smelters, especially if they have blacksmiths. And just one more mod from them, we have the mod Riverwood Well add-on, adding a custom well right in front of the meal so that you can use your custom mods to refill your water, but mainly for cosmetic reasons because otherwise there's really no point in having this. So this mod is definitely more simple out of the 4 from this mod author, and might be another one that I'm keeping. Next mod up, and more than likely going to be mod of the month, we have EVG Clamber. Slope animations, providing new animations and conditions for these new animations when your character runs up and down stairs, or just moves up and down the slope, but that's the more boring version. We're here for the stairs. The animation will vary depending on how steep it is, but you can configure that in the MCM to be strict or very lenient. I pretty much left everything alone just so we can showcase the mod. I did also want to give one quick disclaimer about this mod though. Due to the way that it's set up with Open Animation Replacer, it can be overridden by another animation mod. Like for me, this mod originally wasn't working because I had very masculine idols installed, so I assume it's the same for the female version of that mod, so be wary if you have that mod. And for once I decided to say idol instead of ideal. Starting to become my trademark annoying people by mispronouncing a word on purpose. But this mod, as you can see, works for the player and NPCs, so I can definitely see why this will win mod of the month. But if it doesn't, I wonder what mod will be so great that it beats this one. Another monster mod by Mihail, and possibly one of the best looking creatures in his arsenal, is his new mod called Lesser Ice Golems. And I'm going to be honest here. Even though they were set up to be weaker and smaller than Ice Golems due to them being underdeveloped for lack of better words, their arsenal is what makes them stand out, and of course how cool they actually look. That's also very important here. Of course they aren't going to be beating trolls, especially since I use Sky Test, which actually makes them a lot stronger, but it definitely did a lot of damage with this ranged attack. This golem can be found on random draugrs because they also can now summon these randomly, which I actually didn't get to experience myself because I use another draugr mod which changes my draugr up, called the Restless Dead. So they wouldn't really get this spell tome, but hey, that's what that item menu was for. So even though it can't beat trolls yet, I had about 15 skill when I tried to make it fight the troll. It's more than enough for bandits. But that was pretty much it for today guys. I wanted to showcase that followers interact mod, but I don't really use followers, so I don't know how I'll get it set up fully. but maybe next time. So let me know what you guys thought down below in the comments, and make sure you drop a like if you enjoyed the video. But as of right now, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.